What is a design phase pull plan? We've been experimenting with that on our construction projects with our construction company, and we've been able to get down to, I would say, our first level of detail with design phase pull planning, and it's working out great, and we're hitting above an 80% on our percent plan complete. On the next job, we're going to go even farther. So in this video, I'm going to show you where we've taken it and invite your comments back so we can learn together, so stay with us. What is a design phase pull plan? In this video, I'm going to take you through some exciting information. This is all from Elevating Pre-Construction Planning, the book. I'm going from page 241 to 249, and I'm going to talk about some really cool things. The last planner method of doing this, the Scrum method of doing this, and then some things to remember. And so if you're into that and want to see actual examples, then stay with us. Okay, welcome everybody. I am super stoked to do this. In the book, Elevating Pre-Construction Planning, I list out how to do planning and pre-construction with Last Planner, like I said, with Scrum, and then some key things to remember. Now, this is just a base. By the way, if you don't have this book, I highly recommend that you get it. It's absolutely fantastic, and it will enable you to do some pretty cool things. And I'm going to show you an example over to the right, which I know that we can get better with, but it's definitely a start, and I'd love to get your comments as we go. So let's take a look at this. So, if we're doing Last Planner in pre-construction, there's a couple of things that we need to think about. First of all, the goal is for us to keep design on track, but not to be too rigid, right? So what we'll do is we will follow these steps generally as we start here. Number one, identify. Identify the ultimate end milestones for the series of phases in your design effort. Then do your reverse pass. So work backwards in identifying activities like work approvals, procurement, review times, regulatory durations, right? And then confirm, meaning add high-level summary tags that represent fairly accurate durations. That will help you in your team to confirm the duration you have between milestones, right? So what you're attempting to do is make sure that these milestones are correct. And then, I found a little thing that we need to fix in the book here. That's awesome. Review with the overall team once the pull plan is complete, and then finalize the pull plan and make sure you're actually pulling to the milestone. So what I'm talking about here is that if you have a milestone, then you'll do the pull planning up to that milestone, which will be much more detailed. So the idea here is, just to simplify this, if you have the milestone pull or the milestone set properly, then can you do a pull plan up to the milestone in a more detailed fashion and make sure that you're able to hit it. So that pull planning is really genius when it comes to design phase pull planning and Last Planner implementation. Let me go over here to the right and explain what happens from there. So once you have that, you should be able to see roadblocks. The biggest thing in design that affect us, oh my gosh, this is so good. It's not really the amount of work. It's the fact that designers are distracted with email, batching work. They're not co-located. We're not able to get commitments on time. The main thing that slows you down is that designers don't have what they need. So being able to identify roadblocks here is great. And then you can basically filter out your 6-week look-ahead plan and weekly work plan and use them in the normal way. If you're doing this in design, you can implement the whole Last Planner system, and basically, if you're working in a cluster in IPD or we'll talk about Scrum later, but in a Scrum group or a functional group, you can have your daily huddle, and you can pick a day once a week to do your look ahead and weekly work planning based off of those pull plans, right? So pull plan, look ahead, weekly work plan, normal Last Planner implementation here. So probably familiar with it, but those are the basics. Now let me go over here to the Scrum method, and I love Scrum, by the way. Scrum would be where you have, and by the way, this is in Philippe Engineer's book, Construction Scrum, or Scrum doing twice the work in half the time, sorry. And in design, what you could do is literally just map out all of the activities that have to be done up to a pull plan, and then use the overall Scrum board format to move your stickies, or actually I should probably do a smaller box, move them from left to right in your Scrum team in a collaborative way. Let me just expand on that just a little bit more here as I move over. Let me show you a couple more pages. In the Scrum system, and if you haven't learned Scrum, please go become a Scrum Master trained. But if you have an activity and those activities have this level of effort number and you're moving everything from left to right, you can literally track the amount of points that you have for your work in a timeline and then basically use this burn down chart to make sure you're on track. So you're basically graphing it. So let's say the first week you get this much done, then this, you know you're behind schedule, let's recover. Okay, now we finished. You can track according to your burn down chart how well you're doing in the overall system. And so basically this would be, what is your backlog? What is your sprint backlog? What is your daily huddle, what we're going to accomplish today? And basically you have a Scrum team this time, and every week you basically have sprint planning. And so again, the book Construction of Scrum is a really neat way to do this. You can do design efforts in Last Planner or in Scrum. One thing that I want to say before I move on is that when you're doing your design, you should use a decision matrix, make sure that nothing's forgotten. You should make sure that you help your design team to flow. Stay away from email, distractions, batching work, those typical things that slow a design team down. Allow everybody to work in one-piece flow. Create a culture of DDFD, done, freaking done, or insert whatever other word you want. Don't leave things unfinished. Control work in progress to where the designers don't get overwhelmed, and then help the design team to recover from delays. This is just an image from the book. Don't worry about that too much. Okay, let me show you an example. So when I'm showing you these pages from the book, I want you to know that we practice our own medicine. Now these images are not designed here so you can see the exact descriptions. You can reach out to us and I'll have Emilio grab you back and give you some information, or I'll ask him nicely rather. But basically this right here shows the pull plan. So this is a high level pull plan for the design team. They didn't want to get too detailed. Some design teams do. On the next job we will. But the first time around with this was the pull plan, what it looked like on January 3rd. And this is the pull plan, what it looked like on January 10th. What you can see here is where the current weekly work plan is. And then you can see that it advances forward the weekly work plan. And then here you can see the look ahead period. And then like I said down here on the second one, the look ahead period. The idea here is this. You can see what's been accomplished on both. I'm just showing you what they look like at different points of time. You can see what's coming up for the week, and you can see the look ahead plan where you and the designers are making work ready. But it's on an overall timeline, and it's tracking towards your design milestones. So really cool stuff. So let me go ahead and go over here to the right and tell you what happens after this. This is really neat. Actually, I'll go ahead and scroll over here to the right so you can kind of see what's on the left as well. So first of all, the email. After every meeting, so every week, once the weekly work plan is finished, they also do a roadblock review. And after that roadblock review, an email goes out. In every email, the email has the project information, the progress of the overall design effort. What we have here is a roadblock tracker, any important dates that are coming up, and then access to the information. And the information that comes out is we actually filter the 3-week look ahead for the team. We filter the weekly work plan in a really nice format for them, and we actually filter out the roadblock tracking log. Now, we've been hitting above 80% plan complete when we go from this. So the designers get the entire overall perspective every week of what the overall pull plan is and what they need to look out for. They get the update email, they get the look ahead plan, and they get the weekly work plan, and then they get the roadblock tracker on a weekly basis. This helps them to stay engaged and to keep tracking, and it has really increased our productivity to where everybody can see as a group, know as a group, and act as a group. So the information in the book that we showed you is literally just the basics. We have taken it to where we have a very visual pull plan, like I said, broken out by discipline with an email and then the planning deliverables. On the next job, these pull plans will be much more detailed. Okay, we'll be ahead of the game even more. We will improve the metrics that we track on the emails. We will improve the viewability of the look aheads and the weekly work plans, and we will have a much greater focus on roadblock tracking so that we don't have any interruptions. But here's the deal. We're not perfect. This is just us attempting to take lean as far as we can go. Remember our tagline, mastering the art of lean construction doesn't mean mastered, right? So if you have a comment, please leave it in the comments below. We'll give you these images in the description, turn it into a blog post, and then invite you to reach out if you ever want to talk about it more. I hope you've enjoyed this video. On we go.